All right, there are no longer any real arguments to this. AI is improving at unprecedented rates. Literally just 3 years ago, it hardly exists. 6 months ago, it couldn't tell you how many R's are in the word strawberry. But today, the O1 Pro model is arguably better than 80% of the population at reasoning, planning, and possibly even decision making. And we know for sure that it's better than any single human at generalizing across very vast amounts of data. If we keep up this pace in about 6 to 12 months from now, it'll be just as capable as the most capable individuals in every single category, while reasoning across multiple modalities and being agentic. It can literally take actions on behalf of you just by you going to the ChatGPT interface and telling it to. You don't have to set up API calls. You don't have to set up automations. You just tell it to, and it uses the virtual environment on your computer on its own. This begs a very important question. When every single individual owns a computer that can do all economically viable tasks that the best individuals in any single category can do, what is there left for humans to buy? This is the million-dollar question. If you can answer this question and you can sell those products, you're going to be in a very good position. So let's talk about some common business models and see which one of them answers this question the best. Before we jump into that, if you aren't already, follow me on Twitter if you want to see my insights before anybody else does. I am most active on Twitter. I spill out a lot of different information there, some information that you will never see on my YouTube channel. So if you want to have access to those insights and if you want to network with me, follow me on Twitter at @NeilMcDevitt_. Jumping back in, some of the most popular business models right now are things like automation agencies, marketing agencies, software as a service companies, e-commerce brands, consulting or online coaching businesses or like information products, community-based businesses, physical labor as a service type of businesses, and then deep tech, hardware, robotics, things of those nature. These are some of the most popular business models right now, but I think it's very important if we go through every single one of these models and we ask ourselves the question, when every single individual has a computer that can do any single economically valuable task better than the best humans, what is left for humans to buy? Let's apply that model, that framework, that question to every single one of these models and see which model is the best to commit to today for the foreseeable future. Starting with software as a service businesses. First thing I want to do is I'm just going to let this video play. This video is somebody putting in a single prompt, literally one prompt. And from that single prompt, he one-shots an entire CRM platform with a backend integrated with a proper login, every single thing you could possibly need for this CRM to function like a proper CRM. All done within one single prompt. So if that doesn't say it right there, I don't know what else does. Like, software is losing its moats very rapidly. And if I were to be completely honest, I would say if we were to use a dot-com boom analogy, I would say software is the newspaper and hardware is the new software. This is something I'm already doing, but I'm willing to bet in the near future, nobody really uses software subscriptions anymore. They'll just build their own software because they'll literally just go to an AI and then describe what they want, and it'll just build it from scratch exactly how they want it, completely customized to their needs. And everybody will have their own individual designer software that they build themselves with AI. So currently, software as an industry is dying at the rate of which this technology is being adopted. As this technology is adopted more and more and more, software as a service will continue to die until it doesn't exist anymore, because artificial intelligence is the final version of software. So again, literally the software industry is dying at the pace of adoption of AI. And this is exactly what happened with the newspaper industry as well. The newspaper industry was dying at the rate of internet adoption, and now you never really see newspapers anymore because we have the best newspaper live in front of us 24/7 on like Twitter. So that's number one. Number two, let's look at automation agencies, marketing agencies, anything like that. Well, if you currently look at the advertising platforms, pretty much all they are is AI algorithms now. AI is eating every single thing that you do within that platform. Very soon, you won't have to do anything within that platform. You'll go in there, you'll ask the AI to create an ad for you, and you click one button. The marketing agencies, the advertising agencies will no longer be needed because it'll be so simple. You go in there, you say, hey, AI, I want to add for this company. Here's what the company does. Here's my company's data, because you're going to have a lot of your company's data. Feed it your company's data. It'll create the best ad possible for you. You click start, and it will be the best media buyer anybody could possibly think of. That's already what the algorithm within these advertising platforms really are, is you just go in there, you set like 2 different things, and now you click a button. That's the best way to run ads today. Very soon, that'll be entirely automated. AI, I don't know if you've noticed, if you're a media buyer, you probably have. AI is eating the platform over time, slowly but surely, more and more and more. And eventually, it'll be saturated with AI, and the business owner himself won't need a marketing agency. Same thing for automation agencies. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, is the final version of automation. You simply tell this AI agent what you want and say, do this repeatedly. Or if you don't want to do that, you can say, hey, create this Python script and hook it up to this, and it'll do that. And it'll automate that thing in perpetuity without ever having to hire an automation agency, or without you ever having to hire a marketing agency if you need marketing. Now, let's talk about coaching and consulting companies. Why would I ever want to pay for coaching or consulting unless it's like therapy? I could see therapy. I could see maybe some like if you have a group of humans that is just creating art together for fun, I could see something like that. But that's more so, the art one's more so a community-based business instead of a consulting business. I think therapy could still exist, like human-to-human therapy for certain individuals who prioritize humanness over AI-ness. But I also think AI will probably outperform humans at therapy in the future, especially if you look at how we're anthropomorphizing these systems. We're creating them very human-like. They're going to stimulate all of the psychological and social cues within inside of your biological system that makes you think these systems are pretty much human. So yeah, I mean, why would you ever hire some coach, some consultant, and mentor to teach you a skill when you have access to an AI that can do the thing better than the mentor themselves? That business model will not be needed. If anything, you'll have like a premium community where you're going there not to learn, but just to have like brotherhood or camaraderie. Which brings us to the next one, which is community businesses. Community businesses is one I think will actually be very large in the future, especially since automation will be taking up more and more of the labor market. There's going to be a lot of people looking for the next thing, the next phase of their life, the next thing they want to do. And if you have a community business there where you have like camaraderie or like brotherhood or like sisterhood, whatever, if you have a community where everybody's kind of focused on one single mission and they can join the community and find the purpose, their next version of purpose, I think that's going to be a massive industry in the very near future. And I think community businesses are actually a fantastic idea. And if you look at the evolved psychological mechanisms of humans, whenever humans are looking for meaning, whenever they're searching for the next purpose in life, they join communities, they join religions, they join potentially cults, right? So I think communities are going to be one of the biggest business models in the future. Next is e-commerce. E-commerce will continue to be a thing until we hit the point that 3D printers are just far better than shipping products economically. Eventually, we will hit a point where 3D printers will be so good that the economic value of buying a 3D printer and just having all of your products 3D printed at home, that'll be so much better than just like buying physical products. Instead, you'll just be 3D printing whatever products you want to. So for a while, e-com will be good until 3D printing hits that level, which I'm willing to bet it does that within the next 5-ish years to a decade. Probably the next 5 years, potentially the next decade, but it's going to be sooner than later. 3D printing is really starting to accelerate. That's a market I'm interested in. Next is physical labor as a service. This one's kind of like e-commerce. It's going to be good for a while. But eventually, these robots, the automation, will get good enough to the point where humans are no longer needed in physical labor. And I'm willing to bet, just like 3D printing, it's going to be within the next 5 to 10 years. It's going to be sooner than later, sooner than people think. Because the reason why is because we're applying machine learning, we're applying artificial intelligence to design robotics now. We're applying it to design computer chips. We're applying machine learning to design robotics. We're applying machine learning with 3D printing. This technology of AI is embedding into everything and accelerating everything so much faster. So 3D printing robotics are going to be here much sooner than anybody would like to think. Also, I know Sam Altman has that bet with his friends where he's betting when the first one-person billion-dollar company will happen. I'm willing to bet it happens in 2025, and if not by the end of 2025, by the end of 2026, we'll see the first zero-human billion-dollar company. I just wanted to put that out there. So now, the final and probably the best option is deep tech, physical hardware, building robotics, building computer chips, building anything within the world of atoms. Because by next year, by this time next year, or potentially by early 2026, every single one of us is going to be as capable as the most capable engineers. We're all going to be 10x engineers, full stack 10x engineers by this time next year or early 2026, which is why I am thinking that way now. I'm trying to align my mindset with, okay, that's going to be here very soon. Let's start building the mental frameworks, the skills that I should be learning so I can apply the AI models to engineering tasks. How can I build that way of thinking? How can I build those mental models, right? That's the question I'm asking myself, because I think that's going to be the biggest opportunity. I think the biggest thing that people are going to have to do is think bigger, because now we'll all have these very powerful capabilities. We'll all be full stack 10x engineers. The only thing that's limiting you now is the size of your thought. How ambitious can you be? You're going to be able to build very complicated things in a not too distant future. I'm very confident of it. Literally, I'm already using AI to build things that I never thought I would be able to, because I'm usually not a very technical person. I'm like somewhat technical. I understand things, but I'm not like super technical. I'm definitely not a 10x engineer, but I'm already starting to build things where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I just built that. And these models aren't that good yet. I mean, they're good, obviously, but by next year, this time next year, they're going to be phenomenal. And I'm so excited because we are all going to be 10x engineers. Also, one thing I wanted to mention is some people think that moats no longer exist after AGI because everybody's a 10x engineer. And I would actually argue that no, the moats are just changing. Their moats are going from like product moats to marketing moats. They're going from physical moats to psychological moats. If you look at like the Coca-Cola brand, that is a psychological moat, right? It's going from product to branding. Branding is a very, very good moat in the future. If you look at Elon Musk and why he bought the entire X platform, one, he has a lot of leverage with that, and he can do like what he did with the Department of Government Efficiency, but also that is a very massive brand. People like Mark Zuckerberg, people like Elon are in very, very good positions for the future. So it's not that moats are dying, it's that moats are changing fundamentally. Moats are going from, again, having a physical product moat, a quality moat of your product, having basically a skill gap between your engineers and the other engineers, to now being more of a, how well can you articulate your vision clearly at scale? If you can articulate your vision clearly at scale and you can build up a massive brand by doing so, kind of like what Elon Musk has done with the mission of going to Mars. He has a very massive mission that he is tackling. It's very ambitious. It's possibly the most ambitious mission anybody on Earth has today. And his goal is to literally colonize Mars. And all his business model is right now, the reason Tesla stock is up so high, the reason his rocket company does so well, is because he's very good at articulating this business model or this vision at massive scale on platforms like X or just on the internet in general. So I don't want to keep this video too long. I just kind of wanted to share some thoughts as to what is happening in the market. What are some insights that I'm seeing? What are some trends that I'm seeing by being very deep and on the cutting edge of this technology and just spending all of my time studying business models, studying entrepreneurship, improving my personal world model so that I can have better mental frameworks and better mental models whenever approaching the physical world with the ideas that I have using this technology. Again, we're all going to be very capable in a not too distant future. It's time to start thinking bigger. Be very ambitious. Build something that is world changing potentially, because you're going to have the capability of doing so. The only thing holding you back now is the size of your thoughts and your ability to articulate your vision clearly at scale. Which is why One, I suggest building a community business. That's why I'm building a community. And then in that community business, you can innovate with technology. You can be a 10x engineer within your community. All of your members can be 10x engineers. If you want to join a community like that, where you're in a community where we can all innovate together, I do have the link to my community below. It's only $7 per month. The only reason we do have any price tag at all is just to keep out the people who aren't that interested. If you are interested, obviously it's very cheap. The link is in the description below. One thing we're doing in the community in the very near future is I am creating a platform where every single member in the community can hook up their local compute into this interconnected distributed cloud computer, so we can create like a super cloud cluster and then host very powerful open source models in the future. So that's something we're working on today. If that's something that you're interested in joining, and if you want to help innovate in the community, the link again is in the description below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, and I will see you in the next video.